my friends, I am finally getting around to sharing my April candle empties with you. I know that a lot of you guys like this video. I personally love watching other content creators' empties videos because I personally think that they are some of the best reviews that you can get on YouTube. You know how a candle has completely performed from start to finish. You know how the burn quality was. You know if there was any sooting, if there was any wax issues. Did the fragrance maintain its strength and throw throughout the entire thing? These are the best reviews. So I have a lot of candles to talk about. I don't really want to waste any time. I do want to let you know that a couple of these candles do have dedicated candle reviews. If you've been with me for a while, you may know that I talked about this a few weeks ago back on my Saturday 6. This month for me is very, very hectic. I have 3 children and they are ending up their school year. Actually, this week coming up, they will be released for summer break. We also have our local dance recital. I teach dance. And then to add to the fun, my husband will be having surgery next week. So yeah, we've just got a lot going on. So I wanted to squeeze this video in for you because I know that a lot of you guys are kind of missing some of my dedicated candle reviews, and I really want to get back to doing those, but my time schedule has just not allowed for that right now. So I wanted to make sure that I gave you guys some information because there have been a lot of great sales floating around for Mother's Day, and I'm sure that there will probably be more sales floating around for the end of this month when we are heading into summer. You know, Memorial Day weekend, there typically tends to be a lot of sales. So I wanted to get this information out to you in case you have been eyeing some of these candles, because there's some that are no longer available, but quite a few of them are still available through their manufacturers. And so I just wanted to share that with you. Also, I am a Kringle Candle ambassador and I am also a HOMEWORX ambassador. So if you want discount codes, those are affiliate codes. I will make sure that I have my discount codes linked in the description box down below. So that way, if you are interested in purchasing any of these candles, there is a discount available to you. All right, let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and talk about some of these candles that I burned up. Let's go ahead and start out with HOMEWORX Sparkling Citrus. I do have a dedicated review on this one, so I won't go into too many details here. If you want further thoughts about that, I will go ahead and have that linked in the description box down below. The candle empties, or not candle empties, the candle review playlist, like I said, will be at the end of this video if you want to check that out. But Sparkling Citrus, this one performed beautifully for me all the way down, like start to finish. I had no issues with sooting, no issues with puny wicks. This one was a champion for me, and I feel like that has been kind of a rare thing for us over the last year with HOMEWORX. We know that some of those 2022 pour dates were just really, really struggling, but this one was a win for me. It would be a repurchase for me. I really enjoyed the fragrance. It's probably not one that I will pick up this season, but it is one that I would enjoy burning again. I would say next March, April. It's a very nice spring citrus scent to my nose. All right, another fragrance that I have a dedicated review on is HOMEWORX Coconut Cake. Now this particular one, I believe, was from a 2021 pour date, and this candle was strong, very, very strong for me. I would say like a strength and throw of like a 9, almost 10. This one was a powerhouse. In fact, I jokingly said this was one that I needed to burn when I had windows open. Now, here's the interesting thing about Coconut Cake. I have found that as the burn got a little bit towards the end of the candle's life, I found that that caramel note really seemed to come out a little bit more than I found than, say, during the first half of the burn. And to me, that caramel note almost came off as borderline cloying. I actually found this candle to be one that I could only burn for about 2 hours, and then I was like, okay, I've had enough of that, or I needed to have the windows open because it was extremely strong for me. The fragrance is pretty true to life. It is very reminiscent of a coconut cake, so if that is one that you have been eyeballing and you're wanting a strong performer, then I would recommend that candle. It is one that I typically burn every April because it does bring about Easter memories for me, and that would be a repurchase, but it is one that I feel like it's not one that I love as much as I initially loved it. Maybe my preferences are changing, I don't know. All right, Bath & Body Works under the Magnolia tree. I did do a dedicated review on this. I'm not sure if this one is still available at any Bath & Body Works stores. I know that that was, I think, maybe part of their first spring candle release. I actually really liked that fragrance. If you like magnolia scents, I wouldn't say that it's a magnolia heavy fragrance. That one definitely had some lemon notes in it, and I would say that the lemon note was about just as strong as magnolia. So if you were looking for a pure floral, that was not going to be it. If you don't mind your floral mixed with a little bit of fruit, predominantly a lemon note in that one, then that was a good candle. I'm not sure if that one will be making a return if it's not currently available. Also, I don't know if that one will be coming back maybe for a semi-annual sale, but that is a candle that I would repurchase in the future. Again, it's a springtime candle in my opinion. It's not one that I would crave in the summertime, but it performed decently for me. I will say that that particular iteration of it did develop puny wicks on me, which is always the risk that I run with a lot of Bath & Body Works candles, so it did live out the rest of its life in the candle crock. All right, Marshmallow Chicks from Kringle Candle. This was part of their Easter collection, and this was the candle that sold out very, very quickly. I mean, I want to say like within the first 8 hours, it was gone. Here's the thing about that candle. I really liked it on cold sniff, and when I initially started burning it, I really liked it. This was one that the first couple of burns, I definitely smelled lemon and marshmallow. However, once I got to about the halfway burning point on that candle, I started to notice a weird, like almost chocolate note in that, but it smelled like burning. Almost, I hate to say this because some chocolate notes take on this fragrance. I noticed it as well there was like a peppermint cocoa scent with Yankee this last Christmas that I noticed this as well. Sometimes cocoa notes to my nose, when they are burning, I don't know if it's like they get to a certain point in the wax, they almost come off smelling like cigarette smoke to my nose. And that unfortunately is what happened during this candle's burn life, I would say. The strength and throw on this was about a 7 for me. I saw some other reviewers say that they couldn't smell it at all, and I was like, wow, that's not my experience at all, because that candle was very, very strong in my house. It was a good 7. If I put it in my master bedroom, it filled up the entire room and the bathroom and wanted to almost kind of come around the corner. So I don't know if there were maybe some batch variations, but that one was a very strong performer for me. I'm not sure that that would be a fragrance that I would repurchase next year, just because of that experience where I liked it the first half, but that second half, it just didn't quite hit the mark for me. I will tell you that the surprising favorite of that Easter collection was Jelly Beans, which is funny because on Cold Snip, I thought that that was the one that I was going to maybe not appreciate the most. Not that I didn't like it, I did like it, but I really loved it. Now, a lot of people who are familiar with Tutti Frutti Candy at Bath & Body Works, my friend Connor in particular, said that he feels like they were pretty similar to one another. I loved that fragrance. My 14-year-old daughter loved that one too. There was a little bit of like a citrus note in there, but it was combined very beautifully with like sugary jelly beans. It encapsulated that sugary note without it being cloying or like overly like juvenile sweet. I really, really like that fragrance. It is one that I would pick up again next year. Both of those candles were in the 3-wick 100% soy wax formula. The only thing that I will say about those is that I noticed it, I think was it Marshmallow Chicks or was it the Jelly Beans? One of these candles, I'm trying to remember which one, the wax got so hot that it did dislodge the wick clips. So I will say that is one of the things that you might want to watch with these Kringle 3 wicks if you are burning them for a prolonged period of time. That wax pool can get deep very quickly and it can get hot very quickly. And so you just might want to watch the wick clippings on that, because I have had 1 or 2 of them in that formulation where the wicks have started to move. For me, I have a candle crock, so then I just went ahead and let it live out the rest of its life there, but I just wanted to let you know. Yes, it was definitely my favorite of the Easter collection. That one as well was a good 7 to 8 in terms of strength and throw. So if that one is still somehow in your in your candle collection because you don't burn things seasonally, I would say that you are probably going to get pretty good performance out of that one. Orange Creamsicle. This is currently available on the HOMEWORX.shop website. I love this fragrance. Now, I did do a dedicated review on this. I believe I did one at least about a year ago. This one was really good for me. This was actually a holdover candle that I had from my collection from 2022. I absolutely love this fragrance. It is very much juicy orange pop. I had talked about in my Saturday 6 series that I feel like this candle and the Valencia Orange fragrance from HOMEWORX that was released earlier this year on QVC in a duo, I don't believe that's available anymore. I feel like the orange fragrance is very, very similar. The orange creamsicle scent just seems to have a slight touch of vanilla creaminess to it that the Valencia Orange doesn't have, but I feel like if you have one or the other in your collection, you don't really need the other one. I absolutely love this orange fragrance. It is one that I would consider repurchasing. I don't have another one in my collection right now because I do have that Valencia Orange duo. So I don't plan on repurchasing it this season, but it is one that I hope sticks around in the HOMEWORX permanent collection because that is a great summertime staple. The strength and throw on that was about a 7.5. Good clean performance for me. I didn't have any issues with it, so that one got 2 thumbs up from me. Let's talk about a Yankee candle that I quote unquote finished up. This was Bunny Vanilla Cupcake. So this was pretty much your just basic vanilla scent. I know that there is a chocolate note listed in there, but to me, this was just a very basic vanilla cupcake type of fragrance. It wasn't one that was like, the cake note wasn't as strong as, say, the HOMEWORX birthday cake. That one has a very distinct and strong birthday cake note to it. This was just a very vanilla, gourmand, definitely a cake note to it, but it wasn't a super strong cake note to it. Very basic. That one only had about a strength and throw of about a 3 to a 4. It was very, very light. Now I know Mick Kittredge has talked about how vanilla fragrances of all of the like scent profiles are the most difficult to make strong. So going into that, I didn't expect it to be a powerhouse 8, 9, 10. This candle did end up living out the rest of its life in my candle crock, which was fine. I actually find vanilla scents to be a great fragrance to pair with maybe some strong florals or to enhance other gourmands. So I wasn't mad about that. That is one, I don't know if I would repurchase that one just because there are some other vanilla fragrances that I enjoy, but that is how that one performed for me. KRINGLE Candle's Herbal Tea. I finally finished this one up. I do have a dedicated review on it. This was, I believe, a new candle in the spring 2022 KRINGLE Candle collection. This was in a 2-wick, 100% soy medium jar. Now, this one was extremely strong for me. Very strong performance, burned flawlessly top to bottom. This one actually self-extinguished. I was very, very impressed with the performance of this candle. This is one that I would definitely repurchase. If you kind of want that tea and cookies vibe, I would recommend burning this one alongside. I'm not sure if it's still on the KRINGLE site because it was a holiday scent, but it was the tea and cookies fragrance, or that it might be in here, the happy birthday scent from KRINGLE, the one that has the balloons on it. I'm not sure if that one's still available. That is actually just vanilla waffle cone. Those two together gave a really nice fragrance blend in my home, and I really liked that. But yes, 2 thumbs up definitely for Herbal Tea. It was very much like a lemon and tea type of fragrance. Very different from the new spring 2023 tea time fragrance. They are 2 completely different scents, but I really, really enjoyed that fragrance. It's kind of like a floral tea with some lemon in there. I really, really liked it. All right. Here's one that we all need to be petitioning Harry Slatkin to bring back to HOMEWORX. Banana Maple Pancakes. Okay, you guys, I only have one more of these in my collection, and I'm like trying to savor it because, ooh, that one was so, so good. So this was a holdover from last year. This one was a good, strong 8 for me. Now, this one did have a March 2022 pour date. This one actually did burn very, very well for me. This is one of the few candles that was burned or poured in 2022 that I did not have any issues with. I didn't have wick issues with it. It burned flawlessly for me. The strength and throw remained consistent throughout. It was a very strong candle for me. This is one of my favorites. If you are talking about gourmand lines from HOMEWORX, I really, really hope that Harry will bring it back. I feel like last year it came back as a fall release, which to me is, maybe it's the maple note in there that they associate with being more of a fall scent. But I personally like burning it more in the summertime because of the banana note being very dominant there. There is kind of that whipped, fluffy pancake accord in there, but the maple note is in there. It's not cloying maple, but the banana is really the star of the show in that candle. It's amazing. Love it. If it is released again, I will definitely be picking it up. Grapefruit and Rosemary. This is another candle that is a new lineup, or new to the country candle lineup of Kringle candles. So country is like a little wing of Kringle candles. And this was one of the first ones now released instead of in that paraffin wax formula, which has traditionally been what country candles have been in. This is part of their new 100% soy wax lineup. I do believe that I did do a dedicated review on this one. This one, here's what I'm going to tell you. It was very strong when I initially started burning it, and this has kind of been my experience now. I'm burning one of the other country candles in this soy formula. This is what I have found with it. That candle was very, very strong strength and throw through about the first 2/3 of the burn. Then I found that the final third of that candle, the strength and throw suddenly diminished quite a bit, only down to about like a 5. So it was around like an 8, and then it went down to about a 5. So that one did I end up crocking that one? Did I end up crocking it? I feel like I burned it quite a ways down until I just decided like it's just not worth it anymore. I did like this fragrance. It is definitely a springtime fragrance to me. It's not one that I would reach for in the summertime. It's one that surprised me because I did not initially like it on cold sniff, but it is one of those fragrances that transforms beautifully upon burn. If you like grapefruit scents, you would like it. If you don't like herbaceous scents, then I would say to stay away from it because that rosemary note does come out in there. It's pretty well balanced in there. All right, another Kringle candle that has been a staple in my springtime lineup is Sicilian Orange. This one was in the 2-wick 100% soy medium tumbler. Another good, strong performance. That one was a solid 8, I would say, in terms of strength and throw. That is one that I feel like that one and Herbal Tea, because sometimes in those 2-wick tumblers, you don't know what you're going to get. Sometimes they are more of like a throw of around a 4 or 5, but that one was, those two have been very, very strong for me. All right, happy birthday. I would say, is that the one? Let me look here. Yes, that is. Okay, sorry you guys, I'm checking my notes because I don't have the candles in front of me. Happy birthday. That again was one that was a repackage, a little bit controversial because it was not promoted as a repackage. It had the little balloons all over it. This is a repackage of Vanilla Waffle Cone from Kringle. This candle for me was a strength and throw of around a 5. This one did not perform very well for me, which kind of surprised me because I feel like up until this point, I had pretty good performance with those 3 wicks in terms of strength and throw. So I was a little bit surprised that this one was only a 5. Again, it is marketed kind of as a vanilla scent. I actually found that fragrance to be a close cousin of tea and cookies. In fact, I think it's that like butters note that they have in there that they have for like a waffle fragrance or like that shortbread kind of note. It almost comes off, that butters and caramel almost come off as like slightly burned to my nose. And that fragrance or like that note really comes out the further along you get in the burn of this candle. In terms of the quality of the candle, I didn't really experience a lot of issues with that other than the strength and throw. It did perform better in my master bedroom, so that is where it lived out most of its life with me. I don't think that's one that I will be repurchasing just based off of the strength and throw of it, and also that the fragrance itself is not one that I'm like, oh, I have to have that. It might be one that I'd like to keep around just mainly to blend with the Herbal Tea, but that's going to be more of like a late winter, early spring scent for me. All right, I did finish up another country candle, and this was the Cosmic Cupcakes. Now, both this one and the grapefruit and rosemary were both in their medium-sized jars. Because I have such an extensive collection, I am always trying to work through my candles, and unless it's a fragrance that I absolutely know that I love, I typically will only order them in the medium-sized jars. So this one was very interesting for me. I know that a lot of people have talked about this Cosmic Cupcakes, and we're all trying to get a grasp on what are we smelling here. So to me, this was very much a mix of Fruity Pebbles and Cocoa Pebbles together. Sometimes I would get some of that chocolate note, but other times when it was burning, I predominantly smelled Fruity Pebbles with a hint of cocoa in the background. Now, this is what I'm going to say about this candle. This was weird. This one started out very light for me. The first two burns, I could barely even smell it. Then suddenly, like from the third burn all the way again until I got to about a third of the way down, this one again was very strong. Then suddenly it was like an 8 performance for me. I was like, wow, we're really getting somewhere with this one. But then again, once we got to that final third, the fragrance started to disappear, and I was like, I can't really smell this one anymore. I did go ahead and put that one into my candle crock and got a little bit more longevity of strength and throw out of it there. So yeah, I don't know what's going on. I do know that this is new, this 100% soy country candle line is very new. And so there's probably going to be some tweaking that needs to take place, but I'm just sharing with you guys my honest thoughts about what happened for me. I do know that sometimes Kringle does watch some of these videos, and I do share my feedback with Mick and the team because I am a Kringle ambassador. So I'm just sharing my honest thoughts with you guys. Started out light, went great, then it went light again. So I'm sure that there's going to be some perfecting of that formula, but I did like the fragrance. I feel like that is one of the few fragrances in my collection that was very difficult to blend with other candles, like other fragrances that I already had. I like my scents to complement one another as I go from room to room, and so that one that I found to be a little bit trickier. I think I would repurchase that one. Again, I feel like that's one that I would probably like towards the end of winter because it's still kind of a gourmand, but it's a little bit fruity and fresh. Yeah, I think that's one that I might repurchase, just not right now. All right, fresh lilac. You guys know I've gone on and on and on about how much I love this candle. This is very much a candle that I burn predominantly in April. It is an early spring candle for me. It brings back all of the nostalgia of Easter time and my childhood. This candle is one that I will always be repurchasing. I definitely prefer this candle above the Bath & Body Works version of Fresh Cut Lilacs. That one to me has a little bit more of a powdery note. This one to me is genuine, authentic, fresh cut lilacs. It is a good performer for me. I would say that it is about a solid 7 for strength and throw. I did like pairing this one with coconut cake on Easter Sunday. It just gave my home all of that nostalgic Easter feel that I remember. So yeah, that one will always be part of my springtime lineup going forward. Chocolate Bunnies. This was the final candle from the Kringle Easter collection, again in those painted 3-wick jars, and I really liked this fragrance. I loved the packaging. First off, all of those cute little bunnies. I mean, I remembered seeing sneak peeks of that in the Kringle Ambassador group, and I was like, I don't care what fragrance that is, I am buying it just for the packaging. It was adorable. Fortunately, the fragrance was amazing. That one was my strongest performer of the Easter collection. That was a solid 9. That chocolate fragrance carried throughout. And here's the thing, that chocolate fragrance was one of the few that I actually really enjoyed. Chocolate is a hit or miss fragrance with me. I feel like it's actually a very difficult fragrance to nail down in a candle format. But Kringle did it right with that one. And I think one of the things that helped was that there was a little bit of coconut in the background of that fragrance. It was also more of a milk chocolate, not a dark, heavy, rich, decadent chocolate. It was definitely like chocolate bunnies, but there was a little bit of that coconut in there. I absolutely loved it. And then I just decided to go ahead and get it all the way to about like that quarter way. And then I went ahead and threw it in the crock because quite frankly, I was just ready to kind of move on from it. That's how I feel like I am with fragrances. I enjoy them, and then suddenly I hit a point where I'm like, okay, I'm done with this, time to move on to something new, and then I'll crock it, and that's what I did with that one. All right, and then my final candle that I burned through in the month of April, and you guys, I have 3 more of these because, oh man, all right. Banana Daquiri. Now, this particular candle is from the QVC duo that was released in the early summer of 2022. Oh, delivery. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno. Oh boy, what are they? They really want to make sure that I get my package, apparently. I know it's there. This packaging is from QVC's launch from last summer. Now, the reason why I think I have 3 or 4 more of these in my backups is because I absolutely love this fragrance. Now, I know that a lot of people see that rum note, and especially with Harry's blends, you get a little bit nervous because some of his boozy scents can be very boozy, a la Deck the Halls. What was the other one that, was it Black Tie? Was it Black Tie? The one that he did, it had like a very like heavy like maple bourbon type of note to it. Some of his fragrances can get very boozy. I am here to tell you that this one is not an overly boozy scent. This is very much a banana scent, banana forward fragrance. If you are somebody that enjoys banana fragrances in the summertime, then I would say run, do not walk, get this one. This fragrance, is it still available on the HOMEWORX website? I'm not sure if it is. I know that I have been seeing it show up in my local Marshalls and HomeGoods, and I know that a lot of other people across the country have been finding it there. So I purchased this one last year because it went on clearance for like $20 for the duos over at QVC, and that is when I stocked up because I knew that I loved this fragrance. This one, you know, I will say that this one, because it was a 2022 pour date, this one has a strength and throw of around a 6 to 7 for me. Now, I'm not sure if that was an improvement from last year. I'm trying to remember. I feel like when I burned it last year initially, it was a little bit light. But because now that they have been sitting in my closet for almost a year, I feel like it is doing what a lot of HOMEWORX candles do, and that is that the strength and throw has increased the longer that I have let it sit and cure. So this one is probably one of my top 10 summertime candles. Let me know in the comment box down below, would you guys like me to do a video on my top fragrances for the summer from, you know, would you like me to do it combined, or would you like me to look at each brand and say these are my top 5 from the brand? Let me know in the comment box down below, because that might be a fun video for me to film as we start heading into warmer weather. So that's going to do it for my candle empties for the month. I try to keep these reviews a little bit more concise for you because I know that these videos tend to get very lengthy, but I also want to be sharing with you guys accurate information because that is my job. I know that a lot of you guys are watching these videos to decide, especially in this economy, are these candles worth purchasing, or should I just skip out on them and save my money for something else? So that is my job. I try to give you guys some in-depth reviews here, but yeah, that has been how the candles have been performing for me. I would say my top 3, definitely Banana Daquiri. Fresh Lilac is one. If you enjoy a lilac fragrance, you can't go wrong with that. And I'm going to say, of the ones that are still available, I would say that Sparkling Citrus is really, really nice. I would say that was my surprise one that I really thoroughly enjoyed. So don't forget to hit the thumbs up button on this video if you found that helpful. If you want more in-depth candle reviews, check out that candle playlist that I will have at the end of this video. I will also make sure to link it in the description box down below. I also have a lot of other empties videos that you are welcome to check out. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. Hi, I'm Katie. I like to talk about home fragrance and a little bit of beauty here on my channel. So I do empties videos, I do hauls, I do first impressions, and when I get around to it, I do some dedicated reviews. So if that sounds like content that you want to stick around for, make sure you hit that subscribe button before getting on out of here. I just want to say thank you so much for spending your time with me here today, and until my next video, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.